Welcome back to Sepulkrum, where crazy things happen. And remember, whenever in doubt, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just making it up as I go along. What is this video about? About this watch right here. They look similar, but one of them is one of one. So what did I do? So this is a GW-M850 multiband 6, as you can see here. This one is in prestige condition here. Brand new straps. Bezel looks pretty nice, although it's missing some paint here. Discontinued watch, but it's not in bad shape. This one is a custom. That movement is multiband 5, and it used to be something like this. It used to be a GW-9000. This is a 90, I keep forgetting, 9025, but that's only because it's a 25th anniversary. But they are essentially the same thing. It's just the color, and of course the color on the back plate. So I got this watch and it was completely destroyed. This is the original case. It had a broken screw. I tried to fix it, and I think it's still salvageable. I think it can still do something. But you can see that it's in pretty bad shape. The glass was in bad condition. I did try to, fix it, but you could still see some light scratch right here. And maybe somewhere around here, but I mean, it looks pretty good. So basically a Mudman, which is no longer a mud resist, but the buttons, super easy to press. Look at this. You see that? And it's in mute right now. I gotta change that. This one, everybody knows the buttons are kind of difficult to press. I really wanted to get one of these and do the transfer into the M850, but it's super difficult to find one of these in like affordable price. So had to go with the 9000. Now I do have this left, and I have the multiband 6 module here from the A50 that I broke apart. Now the A50, it's easier to deal with because the solar panel is not glass like on the Mudman. You see? So it's a lot easier to work with. Here's the faceplate. Now the glass on this, it's also messed up. So I did this with two completely messed up watches. And then I take a good looking watch to create this crazy experiment. You can see this is the front. You see the condition of that glass. This is the back. It has like a black ring. And I could get a sapphire glass done since it doesn't have any writing, but it does have like a weird measurement. You see it's 29.4, 29.3, and then it's 2.3 thick. There's, if you go on AliExpress, there's some sellers that'll make you a glass. All you gotta do is give them the measurement and they'll make it for you. But it's gonna cost like upwards of $40 or something like that. And I don't wanna spend that money on a case that looks like this. You know what I mean? So I do have a bezel here that it's not in that bad of a case shape. I mean, You see it's scratched, but not that bad. The straps that came with that watch, you can see they don't look very nice. You can see this watch was used and beaten. And I could have left it like this, but look what I got. I got J's and K's metal lug adapters. So when I put this together, I'm going to be installing this to have some fun with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install this, install the O-ring. I got to do the buttons, and I might do a quick pressure test to see how it holds up, to see if the O-ring here, you know, can hold on. And first I'm going to do it without water, and then I'll do it, I guess I'll do it with water without the movement being inside. So let me get all these watches out of the way and I'll be back. Before I continue, let me show you something. You see this area right here where the light button goes? On the MA50, this area right here, it's a little bit lifted, and it does have a piece of metal here, which it should be somewhere around here. I gotta look for it because I think this watch also has it. I took this watch apart a long time ago. It's gotta be somewhere. I'll look for it. And so when you go back to put it back together, if you're planning on doing something like this, when you go put the Mudman on the A50, you have to use the rubber cushion here from the A50. You can't use the one from the Mudman because the Mudman is thicker. Because once you put the back cover on, it'll squeeze the LCD and it'll distort. So you got to make sure that you use the rubber cushion from the A50. They have exactly the same shape. The difference is the A50 is thinner. The Mudman is thicker. And this area right here is the only difference. I think this can be done with the GW-800, which is also multiband 5, but don't know. I almost bought, try to get a G-9000 because they use the same bezel, right? But I don't know if this in here is the same because that other watch does not have a solar panel. So I don't want to risk, you know, buying a watch just for the case, you know, to have a good, you know, case, and then finding out that this area here is different, which it might be the same, who knows. But I've never taken apart a G9000 that way, so who knows. So let's get on with it. All right, so this solar panel goes on top of the faceplate. You can see it used to have like double-sided tape. I'm going to be using this right here. So I'm going to install it and I'll be back. All right. Let me see. Let's peel this. The original one was way bigger, but we don't need that much tape here. The important part here is to align these two dots with the two holes here. So I'm going to do it backwards. Let me see. I imagine that they used to have some kind of maybe a jig or something at the factory to help them get this aligned. See, this is why I don't use a lot of tape, because now I could like force it and move it around. Yeah, I think that looks good. Now I could take off all my fingerprints. Now I should add, to hold it in place, a little piece of double-sided tape here and here. That way when I set it down, it doesn't move. All right, so let me see if I don't get my greasy fingertips on this. Oh. No, I'm gonna have to use my fingertips. Yep, there it is. So it's in there. Let me clean it up again. You see, it's a lot easier when the solar panel or the solar cell is made out of paper and not glass. All right, so the next step is this other plate here with all the grinding. And I wish all the washes were like this, because it would make replacing a scratch glass a whole lot easier. Take a closer look here. All right. Let's do more cleaning. And now, here comes this spacer thing right there. And then the packing seal. Let me see which way is up. There is like a lip. To help you see which side is up. I think this side is up. If you put it in backwards, it might bend. It might bend the packing seal. Yeah, here I can see it. I can see it better here. I can see the lip here, and I can see the chamfer here. So this side is down. Like that. You clean it. Don't have to worry about aligning anything because it's just round. I like to start it off by hand. See, if I don't do it by hand, then I run the risk of messing up the packing seal. This is why I do it like this. And I don't want to buy a new packing seal. That looks good right there. All right, let me get the press. Simple operation here. Let me do a press like this now. Making sure it's all the way in. Still has to go down a little bit more on this side. That's a good sign, letting you know that it's tight. Should be some good water resistant, at least on the glass. Yeah, that's good enough. That's not going down anymore. This glass might be a little bit thicker than the one from the Mudman. Same diameter, but it might be thicker, but that's all good. Now, I gotta install the buttons, and I have to do my little trick here with the UV glue to hide. Well, first I'm gonna polish it with cerium oxide. I have a video on that. And once I polish it, I use the UV glue, which I also have a video on that, to hide all these scratches. And once I do that, I'll be back. Check it out. Not perfect, but better. I looked on an old video that I have fixing a GW-9000, and this watch does not have a clip here, just to make sure. If you want to verify, you could go back to that video in minute 8:39. 8:39, you can see when I first open up the GW-9000, it does not have a clip. I got tired of looking for it. I'm like, yo, brand new O-ring. So the GW-9000, G-9000, the 9010, the 1925, they all use the same O-ring. I want to do the water resistant test with the new O-ring, just so I can see if I could abuse this watch and take it swimming and stuff like that. You know what I mean? All right. Oh, by the way, I had to buy. That's not it, is it? Yeah, that's funny. I had to buy brand new screws because one of them was broken. It doesn't hurt. Should I put the rubber? Nah. Nah. If I install the rubber, the back part, yeah, I think I should. You know why? Because I need to install the adapters here to be able to hook it inside the pod. All right, let me see. I think this one goes like this, is it? Well, I'll try the other way. like that. And of course, I'm not going to do the test with the module inside, because why ruin a perfectly good working module? I have an old video where I fixed the tilt sensor on one, and another thing you could do is change the motherboard with this multi-bind 6 and this. Even though the display is different, the motherboard is exactly the same. The broken screw was right here. Even though I try to fix it, you can see that it's still slipping a little bit here. The other thing that I could do is use a bigger screw, but I'm going to try with this. All right, let me get that other tool and I'll be back. Actually, I have to install this first. And I believe, let me see how they go. Yep, that looks right. Right there. I only have to install one. That way I could hang the watch from that spring rod right there, spring bar. That way I can hang it from here. All right. You can see the watch is hanging, barely touching the water. What we need to see here, pay attention, is to the dial. Let me see if I can bring this down a little bit. And I'm supposed to pump it, right? And pump it up to like 3 bars and then bring the watch down. And if I start seeing bubbles, that's gonna let me know that there's water going inside, right? But I want to get this done quick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lock the watch in place here. It's in there because the bezel it's trapping air. So once I start pumping, you're gonna see bubbles. So might as well do the most difficult test right away, right? So let's get pumping here. Pretty confident about the glass seal. I'm just worried a little bit about that back. As you can see, it's holding. You're supposed to leave it like 2 or 3 minutes. But if it was leaking, you could see it. You would have seen it by now. I'm looking inside. There's no water going in there. And just to be sure, we can crank it a little bit more. Four bars, which there is no way that I'm gonna go down to 4 bars, right? And you probably want to see more. Let's take it all the way to 5. It's holding. Move it around. Nice and dry. You see that? Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. Now, you're not supposed to make it all the way to 6, although this glass is rated up to like 10 bars, but let's do it all the way to 6. There it is. All the way to 6 bars. So I think the watch is pretty much water resistant, just like it came from factory. I think I did a pretty good job. Now to take it out, we need to open up this knob over here to let go of the air pressure slowly, even though it's not very accurate here. Check it out. You see how it started going down? All right. So no more air pressure. Find the spot where I can lift the watch, because it has like a locking mechanism here. And open it up. Should have had a rag here ready. Let me see if I could take it out. Got all the desk wet. Bone dry, buddies. Bone dry. Perfect. So let's install the module, get this project done. All right, let's remove the bezel so I could take out all that water that went behind. Remove the back cover. I think the new O-ring helped a lot. That's why it's important to change out the O-ring on your old watches, because dry has water on the outside. Let me see, where's the O-ring moved here when I took out the back cover. So let me take it out and re-lube it. And you can see it's completely dry in there. I don't think an old O-ring would have survived that test, because the O-rings do compress over time. So Already got a battery installed here. And let me show you. This is the rubber from the Mudman. Let me find the other one. See, the difference is from the A50, it has a space for the tilt sensor. The Mudman does not have that, but it does have the space here, but it has a hole for the clip for the battery. But you can see how thick it is. Look. So of course this is the Mudman case, so we're gonna be using the Mudman spacer here, rubber cushion. Oops. Reinstalling the O-ring. So I'm gonna put all of this back together. You already seen it, and I'll meet you on the other side. Check it out. Went with the green strap. Remember to always check your humidity level when you're working on watches. 30% right now here. I got the heat mat going down underneath this blue mat here. Remember, all links are also down below. Now the question is, do you have this one? Look at this. Man. Which one do you think looks better? I really like the Ninja one. But this one, I really like how it came out. And from the A50, whoops. Look how different it looks just because of the case. This one, the glass is brand new on this one. And by the way, I do have another A50 here in pieces, which the glass is also scratched to hell. And the bezel is destroyed. You see it's all messed up. The strap were cut on that one. I actually had to buy a cheap destroyed A50 for this bezel. I still have to paint that in. So the bezels are, you know, all these parts are discontinued. Did you know that you could swap out these modules here and do these type of mods here? What do you think? Let me know down below. I think I got too many watches. Should I sell this watch for one of these? Not these. These I'll never sell, but these, maybe. You never know. You never know. That's gonna be it. Thank you for watching. Peace.